Okay, so this is Porky Pig's Haunted Holiday. Um, there are, as you'll see from this first stage, the Haunted Woods, there's some different weather patterns that you might see. On Prince Leaf's side, there's snow, and on Montucky's side, it's normal. Snow lags the game a bit at times. Other weather patterns could be rain or fog. There could also be different seasons, but that doesn't change anything except what you'll see scenery-wise in the background. Those spikes that you're seeing, there's a bit of inconsistency throughout the game. Some spike pits will instantly kill you, while others will only take away 1 health point. And there's no way of knowing unless you fall into them, which you don't want to do. The checkpoint systems with the X, you don't want to stop for checkpoints only because it wastes usually about 5 seconds. No, sorry. Each checkpoint costs about 1 or 2 seconds to put up. It's small, but it's a time loss. The cupcake system that you see both of them gaining, 25, 50, or 75 is a health point, which you'll see them sparsely get cupcakes throughout all of the stages, leading up to a certain amount near the end of the game. Looks like both Montucky and Prince Leaf are making good progress so far. Montucky, unfortunately, with only the 1 health point, but at least he did manage to get another heart, so that he can avoid a death if possible. Prince Leaf making his way to the bottom of the tree, with Montucky in pursuit. And now we have the first boss, Spooky Sid. Spooky Sid that doesn't hurt you, flowing through the background. And the only time you can hit him is when he raises his top hat. And the enemies that come out of the ghost enemies that come out of the hat can't hurt you. Other than that, Spooky Sid is no threat. And as you'll also see, because of the weather changes and season changes that both Prince Leaf and Montucky have, you'll see the different signs and just in general the background difference. But outside of the lag that the snow presents, there's no difference. And Prince Leaf has beat Spooky Sid, and Montucky is done with the boss as well. So the next level is Dry Gulch. Both of the racers think that this is the second hardest level in the game, and it's certainly where they reset the most. There's 2 types of scenery, as you're seeing. Day and night, but there's no difference. Trains come instantly once you approach the tracks, but they only take 1 damage. Seems like it should be a 1-hit death, but it's probably for the best that it's not. As you can see, the jumps that Prince Leaf and Montucky are doing over tracks. Oh, but Montucky unfortunately takes a death. Fortunately, because he decided to take this, use the checkpoint, he doesn't have to start all the way at the very beginning of the stage. Looks like we're having some technical problems on Prince Leaf's side. Everything's frozen on my side.
Sorry about that. Having a bit of a technical problem here. We'll get these guys right back up. I'm not sure what's going on there.
Phew, I thought it was on my end.
Nope, it's not you.
Okay, looks like we're on the way back. As you briefly saw, Prince Leaf was fighting Sam. Sam, his bouncing bullets can hurt you, but the only bullets that matter are the bullets that he directly fires at you, which will be reflected by the pan. And once you do that, he's sad. And after 5 waves of those bullets, a 16-ton anvil weight falls on him, and that's the end of that level. So level 3 is Atlantis. Starts off with Porky riding a raft, with us as sort of a sailboat. The level has the feel of an auto scroller, but it isn't, since the camera is still centered on Porky. But the boat is what moves the players through the level. Fish are triggered by the boat position. Birds are triggered by Porky's position. As you can see, with some carefully timed jumps, instead of having to ride the boat completely through, they were able to skip quite a number of the section and just go along the trees. But since they're also taking damage the instant they hit the water, they require full life to be able to perform this. That was very close by Montucky. And now both of them are in Atlantis itself. This is definitely my favorite music in the game. Montucky's on the first part of Atlantis, and Prince Leaf is now in the second part of the Atlantis stage. That boosted jump that he did off of the fish puts him in a different section than what you would normally see. And the camera button, which is X, is pressed to clip through various ceilings, which normally requires you to navigate some very bubbles going upwards and such, which a lot of the times some very tight jumps, which you'll see very shortly. this is where the wall clips definitely help, because if you were to fall completely down, if you were to fall off just one of those bubbles, you may not make it back all the way down to the bottom without losing all of your health and having to start that entire section over, and thus might waste at least a minute and a half, if not longer. It's noted that if you're doing the ceiling clips and you release the camera button too early, if you're within the wall, the character will die. Only 3 of those bubbles can be on the screen at any one time. And Prince Leaf is fighting Willy the Shark. This is the first boss of the game where you can do a quick hit session, where you can do a set of double hits. The timing is difficult and only works the very first time that he shows up, but it saves the cycle, which takes about 8 seconds. And then you jump on him as normal, which unfortunately you will not be able to double hit him twice after the first time. Both Nantucky and Prince Leaf on the boss, making good progress so far. Now, since you just saw that when they're finished with the boss, they won't die if they go off of the ball platform. For the abandoned mines that Prince Leaf is in now, and Nantucky will be visiting you shortly. The huge boulder that Porky can somehow outwalk is not a one-hit kill, since it only deals one hit point of damage. There's a secret passageway that will be seen shortly after a slide. Going to the left where that boulder was following you is a dead end. The boulders are triggered by Porky's position. The first one is triggered by going past it. The second one is triggered by walking past it. The third and fourth are both triggered before going past them. Instead of climbing ladders, it's faster to jump on them, and if executed properly, they can jump the entire way and not be hit by the slimes. And now for the tree bird boss. There's not much to say about the boss, other than that Tree can be hit as soon as he shows up on screen. And the pattern, as you saw, is far right, far left, water drip, right center, far right. It's a very easy and quick fight. Now for level 5, the Alps. The idea is to try to minimize damage until you reach the 3 hearts about halfway through. And once reached, you can then hold right and take as much damage as possible. And once again, those areas that the fish are coming out of is just supposedly only 1 hit, 1 point of damage. And Prince Leaf is on the monorail, which is generally the only auto scroller. Well, the only real auto scroller that they actually have to deal with in the game. And once they reach the 1-up while on the monorail auto scroller, there will be a single bird, then 2 birds will appear. If done right, they'll jump on the top bird, which gives them enough distance to transition to the next screen, which saves about 5 seconds. If they fail to jump, they die and it costs about a minute because they need to do the entire auto scroller section again. And now Prince Leaf is in Wackyland. Once again, just like other stages, there can be different weather patterns that might exist, but doesn't affect the game. Now in Prince Leaf auto scroller climb, it was clear, and in Montucky's, now his pattern is snow. Now in Wackyland, there's quite a number of maze of doors to go through. And they all can lead you to various areas. And those potholes that you see in Wackyland, those you want to avoid as well. They look like they're in the background, but they actually can hurt you. You see the specific difference in the weather pattern stage-wise in both Prince Leaf and Montucky's areas of Wackyland. It's a good thing Prince Leaf is at full health, because the pots that are firing are random, and there's no way of knowing if they will fire it or not. And now Prince Leaf is at the outboss. He'll cause 3 snowballs to fall, and he will attempt to throw one at you. So all it will take is 3 cycles, because you can double hit him twice per cycle. Other than that, another very easy boss. Meanwhile, Montucky is still making his way through Wackyland. And now Prince Leaf is on the last stage of the game. Now for this first part of the area, you have the option of staying on the ground, but there's a lot more enemies and hits that you may not want to deal with. So Prince Leaf gets swooped by Daffy and just goes along the clouds. Makes that first section that much easier. Now you'll also notice that their cupcake counter is at 70-ish now, which is very much needed now because there are only 2 cakes inside the castle. So being that they'll actually have to take damage, and definitely will take damage, having that 1 extra cupcake for an extra health will definitely help them. And Montucky is finished with the Alps boss. Now Prince Leaf and Montucky may or may not decide to use a specific area for the checkpoint, especially because it's the most difficult part of the game. And there's some platform jumps in Daffy's castle that are really bad because it's not clear how close you are to the edge of the tiles. And Prince Leaf decided to do the safety checkpoint. I can't blame him because just of how hard this area is. Those huge gaps in the castle. Falling means you'll have to redo the entire room or die to respawn at the checkpoint. So they want to take care as much as possible not to hopefully not fall. So, and outside of those conveniently placed health hearts inside the castle, Montucky and Prince Leaf have both passed this 25, 50, or 75 cupcake mark, so they will not be able to obtain any extra health via those cupcakes now. The pool section that Prince Leaf is in now, considering that everything else was only a 1 hit, though that falling in the water here is an instant death. Surprisingly. You would think the train, the boulders, or something of that nature would be a 1-hit kill. And Montucky was very close to falling in one of those huge gaps. I know he's relieved that he didn't. Nothing worse than having to deal with that entire section over. Phew, and Montucky just makes it out of the room before a death. Prince Leaf is on the boss. There's a manipulation that sets up the robot at the left side of where Daffy is, and then he jumps on it. In case he'll start moving right after the animation. Supposedly with that manipulation, it saves a lot of randomness for the fight. And that's GG for Prince Leaf. And Porky wakes up from his nightmare. And with Montucky not too far behind, it's making great pace. I think Montucky has at least one more area to deal with. And he has decent health, so that's very good. And now Montucky is on the final boss. See, this is the randomness that I was talking about just a bit slightly earlier. Especially if they don't manage to stomp on the robot as quick as possible. And Montucky is done with the final boss. GG Montucky and Prince Leaf. Great race. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Porky Pig's Haunted Holiday. Stay tuned for the rest of SNES Superstars.
That's right. We got coming up next Super Metroid. And I think we may have the runners from this race hopping into the commentary here for a moment, because we do have a little bit of time.
Just thank you, Fiesel, and everybody who set up Super NES Superstars for having me. And everybody take care and enjoy the rest of the marathon.
Alrighty. Thank you, Infinite Mystery, for the commentary, and Prince Leaf and Montucky for running Porky Pig's Haunted Holiday. Personally, I did not know that this game existed, so it was pretty interesting to see this game being run. Right now we are having a bit of a free time that either we are gonna be able to fill it out, or not sure if we are gonna put ahead the upcoming game that is a Super Metroid race between CBF and Fusta. That would be a any percent. Unfortunately, there will be no bid war between saving or killing the animals, so they are most likely going to be killed, unfortunately for them. And after that race, we are gonna have a Super Mario RPG run. there will be another race on any percent category, and that will be between Peach01, X the Char, Dorkmaster Flick, Daniel RGT, and Countdown. So please stay tuned into that, and shortly after that race ends, we are going to have another race, an any percent glitchless race of Earthbound, a pretty and very interesting RPG game that will be run by Il Tempo and background guy Ochu. This